Hi. So I thought I would go ahead and make the second video while I'm still sitting here and waiting on the wash machine to stop. So I posted something this morning, and this woman asked a question, and she said, how come my boyfriend never posts me on social media? Now, this is a very touchy subject, and the reason it's a very touchy subject is because a lot of you and me have been through this. And so when you go through it and the man explains, well, I'm just private, or, I don't want anybody to know my business, blah, 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 that's garbage. It's hot, disgusting garbage. Because the bottom line is, if someone is not talking about you on social media and they talk about other things, that means that they are either embarrassed of you, they have someone else, or they're looking for someone else, or they're hedging their bets. And so what happens when there is a man that is in everybody's inbox, he wants to look single. And even if they are in a relationship, but they don't have your name there, they're not proud of you, they don't say anything about you, they post only pictures of themselves and family members, that's because they want these women that they're messaging. And if at any point they need to message a woman, they could easily say that they're not in a relationship, and they have not been, because there is no proof of you on social media. And I get that a lot of people try to say, well, Facebook, it doesn't mean anything. You are repeating what he told you, because it does. So if you are born again, and when you received Christ as your Lord and Savior, how many people did you tell? Didn't you go ahead and tell everybody? When you love something, you talk about it. You almost don't even shut up about it. When I got saved, when I got born again, everyone around me knew it. I couldn't stop talking about Jesus. I smiled nonstop. I smiled so much to where my face hurt. Because I finally had some tangible proof that Jesus was real, that Jesus is real, and that Jesus is alive. So I talked about him nonstop. When I buy a new pair of shoes that I love, I talk about it. When I go to a restaurant that I love, I talk about it. That's just human nature. You talk about what you love. And so if someone is not talking about you, that means that y'all ain't what you think you are. And so a lot of us have made this mistake. And we believe the lie that, it's okay that I've never met his family. It's okay that he doesn't say anything about me. It's okay that we're not married. It's not okay. You're settling. And what you're doing is you're hoping that at one point he's going to see what a great person you are. But he's not going to see it because he's spiritually blind and you're not his. So basically, you belong to someone else. And your husband is somewhere waiting on you, and you are entertaining someone that has no desire to honor you or do anything worthwhile for you. So if you're a woman and you are in a relationship and you are noticing that he does not talk about you on social media, that he does not invite you to, events and that kind of thing, and he goes to weddings by himself and all kinds of stuff, this is because he doesn't honor you. He doesn't see a future with you. And we've heard this before, but we don't want to believe it. But I'm telling you right now, honey, there are men out there that would just love you. I'm talking about everything about you, from your dandruff right on down to your ashy heels. He would love everything about you. And so what I want you to do is stop making excuses for him, because, people lie, but women are very guilty of lying to themselves. We will make somebody look like they are the best thing in the world, even when you know they lying. I'm telling you, in the beginning of a relationship, those lies be just, amazing. And you suck them in because you really want to believe this is who God has for me. But if you were just honest with yourself, be honest with yourself. I will never be in another relationship that I am not honored, that I am not talked about on social media. Because if strangers, a lot of you guys make me feel like I am the best person in the world. How is it that someone that claims to want to marry me, to be in a covenant with me, does not see it? They don't see it because I don't belong to them. And they don't see that in you because you don't belong to them. And you're probably a strong, praying woman of God, and you fast and you read the Bible and you know the Bible and you honor him and you want to do all these things to help him and you want to pray and get you God and all this stuff, and he's not doing any of that. He's not doing any of that because he does not care. Now, and then if you go through his social media page, and we all do it. If you go through his social media page and you notice that he is liking pictures of butts and boobs and he's posting twerk videos, what do you want with him? You know he's got a lust problem. That don't change. When you walk to that altar, there is no miracle that's happening as you're walking down there. If he had stinking feet on the way down, after you say I do, he's going to have stinking feet in the limo back. Stop this trying to make something be what it's not. You are marrying right there who he is. You know, a lot of people look for, well, you know, I know that one day he's going to be you. He may never be that. He may never be that. Marry what you want right then and there. You may see potential in this man, but if he is not someone that is sold out to Christ, no, he's the same demon. He is the same demon. And what ends up happening, I'm telling dollars to donuts, what ends up happening is that some wonderful daughter of God ends up marrying some son of Satan. And as soon as she say, I do, he shows her who he really is. He's got no issue calling you names. He has zero issue telling you to shut up. He has zero issue pulling your arm or pushing you. He ain't putting the gas in the car. He don't open the car door for you. He doesn't say anything nice to you. At some point, you're going to stop touching. He's not going to kiss you anymore. Nothing. He's going to just use your body for masturbation because that's all that's happening. You aren't getting anything out of it. So what you need to do, and I understand a lot of people don't want to hear this kind of thing, and they feel like, well, you know, that's not going to be my story. Sis, it is your story. It's your story. You know what I mean? Especially if it's not a man of God. Now, let me tell you this. And I know a lot of people like to say, well, you know, the men in the church, you know, they cheat too. Yeah. Yes, they do. The churchians do. Absolutely. I'm talking about a man of God. I'm talking about a son of God. Now, a son of God, a lot of them may not even have a church home. See, that's where a lot of you miss it. Because, see, the Bible talks about kings and priests. There are kings too. There are kings that are people who are men that have businesses and they listen to the Bible and they run their business according to Bible standards and principles, and they travel a lot. So then they may have a pastor that they listen to from time to time, whatever the case is, but you'll know them by their fruit. And then when you talk to them, you guys will sound the same because you got the same father. So stop looking for a pastor. A lot of people, they want to marry a pastor. If you don't, you should be fine as long as it's who God sent you. So now what's happened is that we go into the church and we grab a man. But you know what happens in the church? A lot of times men go in church to find a woman. There was a man that I dated years ago, long time ago, just for a very brief period. And he was someone who had a title in church. And he said, church women are some of the dumbest women that I've ever met. He said that to me, a church woman. And he said, you guys, before you get saved, you recognize when somebody's lying to you. You know when they run in game and everything else. But then the moment you get saved, all of your common sense flies out the window. He said a lot of y'all will be willing to have sex with a man in the back of the church. That was an eye-opener because I never even thought about that. And this is why the scripture says that the children of the world are wiser than the children of light because they operate their system. So women in the world, a lot of women in the world, you tell them one lie, they're like, you are lying and don't you ever call me again. And they'll cuss them out and use a couple of words behind it. But we'll say, you know what, Satan had gotten to him and he making them lie. He's not making them lie. He's a liar. That's all it is. That's who he is, a liar. And that's something that he might like. You know, a lot of people, they got stuff in them that they want to be there. You can't cast everything out because if they want it, you got to let them keep it. But you don't have to deal with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, so there are kings and there are priests. There are men that minister the gospel. There are kings that go out and they get the provision for the vision that the man of God may have. And then there are a lot of men that operate in both. They are ministers of the gospel as well as business owners. And so, but the bottom line is you want someone that is a kingdom citizen. You want a son of God, okay? And then when you get a son of God, you're not going to have to ask him, why is he always got his phone face down? You don't have to ask him, how come he got to take his phone in the bathroom with him? You're not going to have to ask him how come all these women are saying hi under his picture. You're not going to have to ask him how come he's in somebody else's messenger. You're not going to have to ask him how come you've not met his family. You're not going to have to ask him how come he don't talk about you on social media. You're not going to have to ask him any of these things, because if he's a man of God, he's walking in integrity, right? I'm not talking about a church member. I'm talking about an authentic, born-again man of God. And a lot of us have not even seen one in action. And that is a sad thing. You know, there are like, I am a woman of God. If I am dating a man, he is not going to have to wonder if I am entertaining anyone else because of my integrity. And so a lot of times when you are with someone and you have to wonder, you know, and if you're wondering, that's a red flag. The Holy Spirit is telling you something that you may not want to hear. And I've never really worried about being cheated on, because that kind of thing just does not bother me, because I feel like it's petty. And I feel like if you have to cheat on me, you're kind of childish when you could just go and be with that person. But I'm not willing to share or be anyone's second choice or back burner or anything else. I know what I have to offer. Finally, at 44 years old. Now, I couldn't have said this at 30, because there were a lot of things that I got into that I did not know any better. I just wanted, you know, someone that was going to love me. And what happens is we suffer from this rejection, from father problems, daddy issues, and then we take that into relationships, and we grow up and we have that, and we're grown and we're still dealing with that. Deal with it. Get healed and get whole. Deal and heal, whatever you have to do. But do that before you get involved with an authentic son of God. It's okay to be by yourself. It is better to be by yourself than to have someone with you and you cannot tolerate them because of the issues you have. So, back full circle, if you are with someone and they are not talking about you on their social media, there is a reason for it. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. They have a social media, right? Everyone does. And so if they're not talking about you, there is a reason for it. They are shopping for something better. You know what I mean? And I'm going to give a really good example before I go. If you go into a store and you're looking for a specific dress, like you've already seen this dress, and you go into the store, you're looking for it, and they say to you, oh, you know what? That's sold out, but we have this one. And then they show you a dress that is kind of, you know, it's okay. It's something that you can tolerate. So you try that dress on, you get to the register, and you're about to buy it. Well, let's say they bring out that dress that you were there for the first time. You know, they find a dress. They're like, oh, look, somebody did a return. Your dress is here. Which dress are you going to buy? The first or second one? You're going to buy the first dress because that was your first choice. So if a man is interested in a woman that's not like you, he's settling for you, you're a rebound or something. The woman that comes along that he really wants, as soon as she's free, he's going to drop you. So you don't want to be anyone's second choice. You want to be their first choice. And you want the one that God has for you. The one that's going to honor you. The one that is not going to compromise your purity or your integrity. You want someone that can lay their phone face up. You want someone that if you need to use their phone, they will let you. You want someone that has zero issue with talking about you on social media. Those men that do all this childish mess and they're getting folks pregnant while they're married and all this stuff, that is, first of all, it's low life. It's low level. It's men in the world. These are unsaved men and their children. They are childish. That's not who you want. You deserve a lot better than that. Do not say, I don't care how cute he is. Demons can be fine too. Satan is still an angel of light. I don't care how fine they are. I don't care how tall they are. I don't care how good they smell. I don't care how thick their beard is. Let that thick, bearded, tall, good-smelling demon go. And you wait on a son of God. Because God will send you the same thing. But just someone with integrity. Okay? So if he ain't posting you, you ain't supposed to be with him.